They said it would never happen. They said the bridge was burned beyond repair. They said WWE had moved on and there was no chance of reconciliation. Well, guess what? They were all wrong, and what just went down backstage at Monday Night Raw has sent shockwaves through the entire wrestling industry that are going to change everything we thought we knew about WWE's future. I'm talking about a return so unexpected, so controversial, that even the wrestlers themselves didn't know it was happening until 30 minutes before showtime. This isn't some planned comeback that's been teased for months. This isn't a feel-good reunion story. This is corporate chaos at its finest, and the fallout is going to be nuclear. You think you've seen surprising returns before? CM Punk's AEW debut? The Rock showing up unannounced? Those were nothing compared to what just happened, because this return doesn't just shake up storylines, it threatens to tear apart the very foundation of how WWE operates behind the scenes. Right now, as I'm recording this, there are emergency meetings happening in Stamford. There are wrestlers threatening to walk out. There are sponsors asking serious questions. And there's one person who just walked back through WWE's doors after swearing they never would again, carrying enough inside knowledge to expose secrets that certain executives never wanted to see daylight. The wrestling world is about to explode, and by the time this video ends, you're going to understand exactly why this return is being called the most dangerous move WWE has made in decades. But first, let me tell you about the phone call that started it all, a conversation that happened at 3 a.m. last Tuesday that nobody was supposed to know about. Picture this: Triple H gets a call from someone he hasn't spoken to in over 3 years. Someone who left WWE under such controversial circumstances that their name became practically forbidden in company meetings. Someone who had burned every bridge, sued the company, and publicly dragged WWE's reputation through the mud on every podcast and interview platform available. That person just signed a new contract. Now, I know what you're thinking. WWE reporter, you're being dramatic. Returns happen all the time. But you don't understand the magnitude of what's happening here. This isn't just any wrestler coming back. This is someone who knows where all the bodies are buried. Someone who has dirt on contract negotiations, backstage politics, and corporate decisions that could destroy careers and end relationships that took decades to build. The reason this return is so shocking isn't just because everyone thought it was impossible, it's because the timing couldn't be worse for certain people in power. WWE is currently navigating some of the most sensitive business negotiations in company history. They're dealing with ongoing investigations, trying to rebuild their public image, and working desperately to maintain relationships with broadcasting partners who are already asking tough questions. And now, the one person who could make all of those problems 10 times worse just walked back into the building with a microphone and a guaranteed platform to speak their mind. But here's where it gets really interesting. My sources are telling me that this return wasn't authorized by the usual channels. The typical approval process that every talent has to go through? It was completely bypassed. The legal department that usually vets every contract with a microscope? They found out about this after the papers were already signed. This was a power move made by someone high up in the company who decided that the potential benefits outweighed the massive risks. Someone who believed that bringing back this particular individual was worth potentially destabilizing the entire corporate structure of WWE. The question everyone's asking is, why now? What changed? What could possibly be worth risking the chaos that this return is guaranteed to create? The answer lies in something that's been kept secret from the wrestling media for months. There's been a behind-the-scenes war happening in WWE that most fans don't even know exists. It's a battle between old-school mentality and new corporate thinking. It's a fight over creative control, financial decisions, and the very soul of what WWE should represent moving forward. And the person who just returned? They're not just a wrestler. They're a potential game-changer in this internal war. Someone whose loyalty could tip the balance of power in a direction that would shock even the most informed wrestling insiders. But let's talk about the immediate impact, because the reverberations are already being felt throughout the roster. Within hours of this news breaking internally, I'm hearing about heated arguments in catering areas, emergency talent relations meetings, and at least 3 different wrestlers calling their agents to discuss their own contract situations. You see, this return sets a precedent that changes everything. If WWE is willing to bring back someone who left under such controversial circumstances, what does that say about the company's standards? What does it mean for wrestlers who have been loyal but felt undervalued? What message does it send to talent who might be considering jumping ship to other promotions? The locker room is divided right now. Half the roster sees this as a sign that WWE is finally willing to put business success ahead of personal grudges. The other half views it as a betrayal of everything they've been told about loyalty, respect, and earning your place in the company through proper channels. And the fans? They don't even know what's coming yet. When this news officially breaks, the reaction is going to be unlike anything we've seen in wrestling's social media history. Because this isn't just about one person coming back, it's about what their return represents for the future of sports entertainment. Here's what makes this situation even more volatile: the returning individual has made it clear that they're not coming back to play nice. They're not here for a redemption arc or to make peace with old enemies. They're here to settle scores, expose truths, and potentially burn down everything they helped build if that's what it takes to prove their point. The corporate executives who thought they had moved past this drama are about to learn that some bridges, once burned, never stop smoldering. And when you give someone with nothing left to lose a microphone and a global platform, the results can be absolutely devastating. But perhaps the most shocking aspect of this entire situation is who made the call to bring this person back. According to my sources, it wasn't Triple H. It wasn't Nick Khan. It was someone whose name would surprise you, someone who has been operating behind the scenes, building alliances, and making power plays that nobody saw coming. This return is just the opening move in what promises to be the most dramatic period in WWE's recent history. Because when someone returns with the kind of ammunition this individual possesses, everyone in the company becomes a potential target. Old alliances will be tested, long-buried secrets will surface, and careers that seemed untouchable might suddenly be in jeopardy. The wrestling industry thrives on surprises, but this goes beyond surprise. This is corporate warfare disguised as sports entertainment. And the battle lines are being drawn right now in conference rooms and backstage areas where the real power struggles happen. What happens next will determine not just the fate of one returning superstar, but potentially the entire direction of WWE as a company. Because some returns aren't just about wrestling matches and storylines. Sometimes, they're about changing the entire game. The person who just walked back into WWE's world has the power to expose years of secrets, settle decades of scores, and potentially reshape the landscape of professional wrestling forever. And they're just getting started. Stay tuned, because this story is far from over. In fact, it's just beginning. And when the full truth comes out about who orchestrated this return and why, it's going to change everything you thought you knew about how WWE really operates behind the curtain. The revolution isn't coming, it's already here. And it's wearing a WWE contract.